So if I just put that under there, that could work. Oh, so much to figure out. What's up, Audrey? All right. Hello, hello. I have an army of keychains that need to be varnished. Hi, Sue. Hi, David. So I've got that army of keychains that need to be varnished. The first half has already been varnished and resined. Oh. So now I'm just doing the second one. So I've got to varnish them first and then I'll be able to resin them. We might even be able to do both things on the same live because I should be able to varnish at the beginning and resin at the end. And then in the meantime, we're going to work on this bad boy, which is a recipe card box that I thought would be absolutely perfect for putting my Dot Mandala inspiration cards. I have been busy and we're still not done because I just released another pattern. I didn't think I was going to get it done quick and I don't have the original to show you. It's a wraparound mug design. So this pattern it hasn't just been released. It's not released on my website yet. I will be releasing it after this live. So actually, you know what? No, I can't do it on here. So this pattern, if you want to learn how to paint this wraparound mug design, by midnight tonight, it will be on my website. I do not have the documents on my iPad, otherwise I could get it listed right now. But maybe we can sit and do that after, but let's paint first. Hi, Patty. How you doing? I know I've been feeling very, very productive, so I'm really excited to be getting all this stuff done. So these keychains here, these guys are going to be listed next week. And same with these. I'm going to have 5 of each of them. And I'm hoping to have a couple more keychains ready then as well. So these should be ready either this coming weekend or the weekend after. I'm not sure yet, but I will let you know. And like I said, the pattern will be coming later today. Hello in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, Smokin' Hottie. Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, I'm really excited about that mug pattern. I hope you guys really like it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to varnish these really quickly and let them dry. Now I'm varnishing them before coating them with resin. And the reason for that is that because the wood is porous, it can leach or release bubbles into the resin. So putting this tiny bit of varnish is just going to help seal the wood. So hopefully minimal to no bubbles and air will escape from the wood and go into the resin. So I varnish the top and the sides. I don't resin the sides. I'm varnishing the sides only because I really like the feel of the varnished wood contrasting against the really smooth resin. So we'll do that. So this is kind of the sneak peek of what's coming up in the shop, the next shop update. And like I said, I'm going to have more keychains as well. I'm hoping to have a couple more mugs done as well. I've done a whole bunch of mugs recently and a lot of them are still in the shop. So a lot of the colors that have been requested are like the metallics and everything. So there's quite a few of those there if you want to check them out. All the links and all the stuff is in my bio, so if you want to check out my website and see what I've got available for the hand-painted stuff, it's all there. How is everybody doing? What have you guys been up to today? Hi, Paula. How you doing? Paula, are you in the Waterloo area? If you are, that art store that I went to has a location there. I can't remember. I think you commented on that. Oh no, it was about the swearing live. I knew that there would be a group of you that would enjoy that sound with my live schedule. I thought that was funny. That's so true. Hi, Sherry Lynn. Thank you very much. So this is the one side of the keychain, and then this is the other. Hi, these same keychains. What? No, Paula. Hi, Donna. How you doing? Hi, Green Eyes. Hi, Immortel. I'm really, really pleased with these. I've been kind of doing a lot of the assembly line process of just, you know, creating as many of them as I can. I really have liked the idea of having multiples of these things available. You know, they're not going to be exact copies because they're all hand painted, so they all have their own imperfections, but instead of just ever making only one of these, it takes some of the pressure off of me as well to create new designs all the time when these ones are beautiful and are so much fun to paint. Aw, thank you, Immortel. I can't wait for it to get to you too. Hi, Donna. Oh, you're in Aurora. Okay, gotcha. Don't know why I thought you were farther west than that. Come back to them when you feel up for it, right? The small designs can be really, really finicky. And I 100% have to be in the right mindset in order to be able to successfully move forward with them. And I think that's why I'm painting so many of them right now, because I'm on a good roll with them. And I know that that's not going to last forever. So I feel like I have to capitalize on it and try and do as much as I can. So these are the flash metallic paints mixed with some apple barrel pouring medium to thin them down, because mine are way too thick straight out of the bottle. And what was that? Okay. Oh, I left one. I forgot one. So they're way too thick out of the bottle, so I needed to use some pouring medium to thin them down a little bit. But they have incredible shine. I got those paints off of Amazon. And I really haven't done too much with them. It's the same paint that I'm using for the box that we're going to work on tonight as well. Oops. All right, so now these ones are all varnished. And now I can do these ones. I'm not taking pre-orders, but these are going to be listed. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to list these in the next... my goal is in the next couple of days, but it might be in about a week. I would like to get them done and listed before the end of the weekend, but I'm not 100% sure. So each week, each couple of weeks, I'm going to pick a couple of these different designs and repaint them. So kind of keep an eye on which ones I'm going to be restocking the shop with, especially if you have a specific design that you have really liked, that you've seen me do up until this point. If you want, I don't guarantee that I will do the request, but I always want to know what you guys want to see. The reason for that is I kind of read my moods, and sometimes I want to paint with certain colors and sometimes I don't. So I like to have an idea list that I can go in and pull from and look at that list on a regular basis and say, okay, which ones are kind of calling to me? Which colors do I look at it and go, ooh, ooh. And they're not all sold out in the shop. I do have 3 keychains. These particular designs are sold out, but there are 3 other keychains that are available in the shop as well. This one with the purples and the greens and the golds is available. This green one is available. I love this one. Oh, thank you, Donna. That's so sweet. So that's the other side of the green one. I love this one. This is the same design as I did on this one, only different colors. Exactly the same design though. And I also have this one. It's on that side, and we've got the gold and black on the other. So, yeah, keep an eye on, have a look at some of the different designs, and know that I will be restocking some of them. And others, if you want to leave me a request and let me know what colors you'd want to see, then that would be beautiful. I saw in out of the corner of my eye that you guys have left a couple suggestions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to scroll and take a couple screenshots of your suggestions, and I'll put them on the list. One that has been on the list for a while that I'm starting to feel really excited about doing is purples and silver. I also did one once that was different shades of pinks and purples with like a bright teal accent. Those ones were really, really fun. Green, orange, and purple. Okay, I'll take a screenshot of that one. Yes, they will go under the light to cure after I resin them. This is just varnish right now. So Immortelle, I am using a gloss varnish that is just to seal the wood. Because the wood is porous, it could potentially release air into the resin. I had one that kind of resulted in some bubbles. Let me show you actually. So remember this one here, let's see if I can zoom in, that might be better. Do you see all these little tiny bubbles? They're right in here. It looks just kind of cloudy, right in here, right in the middle. Those are all little tiny bubbles. So my friend Jenna, who is J Grons here on TikTok, she does a lot of beautiful, beautiful resin work, and she gave me the advice that it could be the wood because it's porous. So I'm now varnishing all of my keychains before I put the resin on, just to be on the safe side, to hopefully reduce the risk of those bubbles like that. So that's what I'm doing right now. Once I put the resin on, yes, they will go under a UV light to cure the resin and make them this hard epoxy finish. Right? So there's a few left on the website, just literally 3 of them that are available on the website right now. And then as soon as I possibly can, I'm going to list 5 of these, this side, and then this side is the other one. And then I'm also going to list 5 of these. That's one side, still has to be resined, and then that's the other. So there will be 5 of each of those going up very soon. I promise I will try to get it all done as quickly as possible. So yeah, so I'm doing, thank you, Christine 0060, thank you. So yes, that's why I'm doing the varnish, and then I will do the resin after that, is to just try and seal the wood to help reduce bubbling if possible. And it needs a very, very small amount of varnish too. Oh, it just went a little gummy on me there because I left it sitting for too long. So you really don't need a lot. It's just like with the gesso. The gesso goes really, really fast. Or really far, I should say. You don't need a ton of it to cover these things. So I've got another 15 keychains prepped and ready to go. So once these guys are resined, then I will be ready to start some more. So we've got our nice little pile here. I'm going to just kind of move them all off to the side. And I'm going to let that varnish dry. And with any luck, we should be able to resin all of these keychains at the end of this live. We might be able to take the last 30 minutes of this live and do some of the UV resin, which would be pretty cool. And until then, we're going to work on this box. Hey Jan, how you doing? I'm really behind on my comments. I'm so sorry. Let me scroll back and catch up on what I have missed. Hey, Barb. My hair is orange, magenta, and purple like a sunset. Ooh, screenshotting that color scheme, Water Plus Ink. It's good to see you, love. How you doing? I hope that was helpful. Have I tried Protect Clear? Use it on beads and it's good. No, the only one that I've tried is the one that I'm using right now. It's my first time ever using UV resin, and it's J. Diction. I hope to kind of play around with some different brands though as well. Valalgi, sorry, I am just east of Toronto, Canada. Darcy Long, I am using for varnishing those keychains, I am using Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. I also use Mod Podge. If I want a matte finish, I would use Mod Podge, but because these are all going to be coated with resin, the gloss is my preference. On this, I would probably use a matte finish. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you, Zimafu. The shades of turquoise and gold. Are you mean like this one? Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Okay, I know exactly the one that you're talking about. The one that almost looked like a bit of a snowflake, C. Tyson? Almost looked kind of snowflakey. I haven't tried phone cases. Getting a significant number of them to try it and to see what's worthwhile honestly hasn't been on my radar at this point. I am looking at taking photos of my art and putting them on phone cases, but not hand painting them. The cost for the keychains, you'd have to check my website. They're a very new product for me. I don't remember how much they are. I think 27 Canadian. Oh, thank you, C. Tyson. All right, so there are. I just looked up and I saw that there's a lot of people here. So hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a dot mandala artist. Please know that if it takes me a couple of minutes to get to your comment, I do pause and go and scroll back to try and catch up on everything. So if it takes me a minute to get to your comment, please know that I'm not ignoring you. Just be patient with me and I will come back, okay? Oh, that's so kind, Christine. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good, Jan. I'm doing good. I personally always prefer the dark background because the color just tends to pop a lot better on the black background. I have seen people do some white backgrounds and they've been very lovely, but I've never gotten the knack of doing the light backgrounds. I always seem to really struggle with those, C. Tyson. The box is pretty, isn't it? I'm so loving it. So I have to come up with ideas of how I'm going to finish this off. So we're going to look at that tonight. So these colors on the box is the same colors on this keychain as well. Same colors. I'm addicted to them now. I feel like I'm going to be putting them on everything. Thank you, Tanya. I apologize if I'm not saying that right. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Ready Gamer. Aren't they funny? Aren't they fun? Oh, thank you, Misty Well. Thank you, Blooming Ideas. Thanks, Preppy Hippie. Thanks, Jolieanne. Hi, Panetta. Yeah, the snowflakey one that's the teal and gold. Yes, I totally know which one you're talking about, and I do plan to do more of that color scheme. 100%. I'm thinking that my next two designs are actually going to be that color scheme and more of these greens. I think that'll be the next pairing that I go with, and then I might do some more rainbow stuff. I also really like the color combination on this one. I'd really like to redo these ones. This is the same color as my Phoenix design. I really like these ones too. This one already has a home, but I do plan on replicating it. Now the Phoenix design, I do have step-by-step downloadable patterns. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to paint any of these designs, this is my latest pattern. I'm releasing another pattern later this evening, so it'll be listed by midnight Eastern tonight. And it is a mug design. It's actually this one in the background because I paint a lot of mugs. But this is the other most recent. This was the 5th pattern that I released. So if you want a step-by-step walkthrough downloadable pattern for this, that's available on my website as well. All right, let's paint. Let's get to painting. I need to have a drink because I've been talking a lot. Was the paw print hard? No, it was not. And I actually was looking around. Where's my little test canvas? I can show you how to do the paw print. It's very, very easy. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Misty Well. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Prippy Hippie. You like the paw print? I like those too. They're so fun. So the Phoenix design can be found on my website. It's a downloadable pattern, and the link for that is in my bio. I've got some hand-painted mugs and a few keychains still on there. I'm going to be adding a new pattern tonight and the rest of these keychains hopefully by the end of the weekend. And I'm honestly really, really hoping that by the weekend I have at least another 10 more to go with it. So fingers crossed I'll have a whole bunch there. All right, so let's show you the paw print. Let me grab, what can I grab to paint on? Where's my little test canvas? I had a little test canvas around here. All right, we'll just do it on here. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jan. This is my full-time job. I paint these things. I do these lives. I love coming and doing these lives, and I always want to keep them free. But I did set up a tip jar, so if you are able to throw $1 here or there to support me, then that would be wonderful. If you are not able to, that is totally okay. I'm still going to keep doing these. I love this stuff. All right. So, paw prints. I'm gonna take a really dark color just so it shows up well on camera. Okay. So I use one of my nail dotting stylus tools with the round balls on the end. This is your happy place. I'm so glad. That's so wonderful. All right, so this where? All right, so I'm going to dip and dot. Then I'm going to dip and dot here. I'm going to create a little triangle. Dip and dot here. Okay? You want to use lots of paint. So I go back sometimes and add extra paint like I'm doing now. Just adding some extra paint to those dots. And then I'm going to use one of my sharp tools. And I'm going to kind of curve a line. There, and then curve a line again here. Okay. All right. So that's the base of our paw. Okay. Now I'm going to use, you can use the same tool or you can go a little bit smaller. You're going to dip. And right here, I imagine in my mind, a line straight through the middle. And on either side of, just on the either side of that line, I'm going to place a dot, only I'm going to go a little oblong. It's a little bit bigger than I would normally do. And then a little oblong, kind of like ovals. And then slightly smaller ones on the side. Like so. And that's it. Much easier than you'd think, eh? Much easier than we'd think. Ah, thank you. I used to incorporate an awful lot of paw prints into stuff when I first started. Losing my dog was kind of what led me to this. I was going through a lot of grief and a lot of pain. And I ended up finding this. And as soon as I did, I knew I wanted to kind of put him in my stuff somehow. And this kind of came about. I started doing some digital stuff and put paw prints in there as well. And I want to get back to doing these. I really want to get back to doing these because I love the paw prints. I'm a sucker, right? Like if I see two things that are absolutely identical and one has a paw print on it and one doesn't, I'm buying the paw print one. You know, like it's just a no-brainer. I will buy it with a paw print before I will buy something without a paw print. So because it's something that I enjoy so much and I enjoy painting them so much, and I know so many other people are animal people like me that see paw prints and just start to drool. So, you know, I feel like it's something that we could all really enjoy and to create some patterns too. Oh, that's wonderful, Immortelle. You're welcome, Furco. I hope it was helpful. Way easier than you thought, right? Totally. All right, so here is the box. Now, what I want to do is I want to just kind of go over where this line is here, because I want to okay, that's not going to work. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a cheat that I'm going to show you. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Oh, thank you, Radistina. My dog's name was Ranger. So I'm going to try and place this little, it's a piece of cardstock just with two perpendicular lines together, and it's got some tape on the back. It's your best day so far. God, I love that. And I'm just going to align this with those pink swoops in the middle. Okay. Now, because I have progressed this piece fairly slowly, I'm really pleased with how well I have stayed on my guidelines. So that's why I'm pretty confident that aligning with those pink swoops is going to work for me. So now I'm just going to go through and just get a good line there. And this cardstock is protecting my center dot, right? Because I'm not putting a ton of pressure on the compass as I do this. Actually, that needs to come out just a little bit there. And this is going to keep me from puncturing a hole in my center dot. See how my center dot has no imperfections in there? And that's because of that. So number one, you wait for it to dry long enough. But number two, you use something like this just to give you a little added protection. This is a tattoo of my dog Ranger. He was my best bud. So now I'm just gonna, this is gonna seem counterintuitive and counterproductive, but I'm just gonna lightly erase over top of that line. If I don't, the buildup that's there is going to impact the shape of my dots. So I'm just gonna kind of do that. And then we can start putting dots down. So what I think I'm going to do, and what I think I'd really, really like to do, is I don't want to take away from this design. I think that this design in the center... Oh, sure, Erica. That's my tattoo. That's my bud. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to... Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I want to do something different. I feel like now I just want to do the corners. I feel like if I do bands of too much color, it's going to take away from this and make it too cloudy. Oh, thank you so much, Erica. I love it too. It makes me so happy when I look at it. So yeah, I think I should do something out from the corners. Don't you think? I think we could do something really cool through the corners that are kind of nice and swoopy. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. It'll either go really well or really badly. But it's not going to point into the center. They're not going to point into the center. But we'll try it. We're going to try it. All right. So we're going to try a bunch of swoops. I'm going to draw some ideas out here. I'm thinking it would be kind of cool to have something come out like this, maybe. I think like that, maybe. It's okay if it's not symmetrical, isn't it? Okay. Well, let's try something like that. All right. So we're going to start with blue, actually. All right. Yeah, it's a good idea. Good idea, you guys. All right. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Patty. Oh, thank you, Cussy Shore Lover. Great username. All right. So we have blue paint. We don't have much blue paint mixed up. I'm running low. So we are going to pause for a minute and we are going to mix up some blue paint. So I am grabbing... How do I get the pencil marks off? So using just a normal eraser can do, like really working on it will do it. But I use watercolor pencil crayons. So I go back over the design with a wet cotton swab. And that removes all of the guidelines that I need to have gone somewhere. So we are going to take some here. Hi, Georgia. Oh, thank you, Maddie. Yes, most of my designs are freehand. I do draw some guidelines in there, but I tend not to plan stuff too far in advance. Now, this is a take on one of my patterns. So this is the box that we're painting here. Oops, this is the lid. This is the right side up. So this is the box that we're painting, right? Now this particular design, I borrowed from a pattern that I made in a different color, which is this design. So this is these first two rows just condensed a little smaller. These first two sections just condensed a little smaller. So isn't it crazy though? Exactly the same pattern, but different colors, and they look so dramatically different, eh? Isn't that crazy? Thank you, Vakreet. How you doing? Thanks, Georgia. Thanks, Bailey. So yeah, same design, different colors, and a slightly different size. And this one has the 3 rows, different colors. Oh, and there's the edge. In case you missed the finished edge of this plate, we've been working on this plate on the lives for a while now. And that's the edge there. So I'm actually going to coat this in resin to protect it. And I'm going to be doing an auction in July to auction a few of my bigger, more unique pieces, stuff that's not really for the website in my mind. If you want to learn how to paint this pattern, I do have a step-by-step tutorial in my website that's linked in my bio. And it's a downloadable step-by-step pattern, just like a knitting pattern would be. So if you want to give it a shot, it is there. I also, that's my 5th pattern. I'm going to be releasing another one before midnight tonight. And so that'll make it 6 patterns on my website. And then I also have recently I launched my YouTube channel, and there is a playlist there of tutorials as well. So if you want to see, I used to do some Facebook Live tutorials. They were 2 hours long. So there's a good 8 to 10 of those, I believe, that are listed on my YouTube channel. There is a playlist for those. So if you want to check that out, all the links for that stuff are in my bio. And all of these TikTok lives, the recordings will eventually make it onto my YouTube channel as well. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Deanna. Thank you, Rochelle. Oh, thank you so much, Sheila. I'm so glad, Deanna. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Thanks, Vicky. I have to watch you. It's so perfect. I'm an artist and no way I could make it perfect like that. I promise you that I am far from perfect, and I do spend a significant amount of time attempting to camouflage imperfections. Oh, sugar. Making a mess. And it's just like glue. Don't know why I'm singing. I've been watching New Girl. Maybe that's why. But too much Jessica Day on my mind, singing all the time. All right, let's close this up and give this a stir, and then we can start on our blue swoops, going around those corners. How hard is it to do? Not as hard as people think it is. It definitely takes a lot of practice. So the thing that I always say to people is, if you want to do it because you want to be good at it, it can be a very frustrating process. If you want to do it because it's so fun to do, I promise you that what will end up happening is that your product will be something that you find incredibly beautiful. It is one of those art forms that your skill will develop more the more you practice. So I'm a firm believer that if you are doing it for the sheer joy of it, you're going to want to do it more. And the more you do it, the faster your skill is going to develop, right? So I definitely didn't find it as hard as I expected to when I was first learning how to do it. Just kind of be prepared for some practice and some experimentation. There are lots of times where I'm painting something and I think it looks like absolute garbage. And then there are times where I paint something and I think, oh my God, how did this even come out of my own mind, right? So there's going to be ebbs and flows in the things that you paint that you are happy with and the things that you paint that you are not happy with, right? I am lucky, Sheila. Yes, I do have a steady hand for sure. I do get the shakes every once in a while, but usually for me that's anxiety. I don't have any medical conditions or anything that kind of make that a little bit more difficult. So, but what I can tell you is that when I am really, really tense and my anxiety is really high, this is the thing I want to do. This is the thing that calms me down. This is the thing that it slows my breath. It slows my mind. It does all of those things. So the more time I can spend painting, the better and happier I am. And absolutely, Maddie, I totally get lost in my art. I'll sit down and then just hours will have gone by. It's so much fun, Michelle, and it's incredibly meditative as well. The tools that I use some nail dotting stylus tools. I've got 2 different sets. I've got ones like this that are double-ended. Each end of the tool is a different size, and each tool in the set has different sized metal balls on the end. I also use another set of nail dotting stylus tools. I think they came in a set of 5, and they have these silicone brushes on the end. These silicone brushes are great for pulling paint off when you've made mistakes. You can get these tools and the nail dotting stylus tools at Dot Art Depot. If you use coupon Jamie10, you can get 10% off. She's got stencils, she's got a book, she's got all kinds of tools, all kinds of designs and everything. Lydia May is actually who I learned from. So if you want to check out dotartdepot.com, you can get those there. And I also use a set of tools that look very much like pencils, but all just have different sized ends on them to create different sized dots. And these are by DIY Mandala Stones. You can get them on Amazon or on Etsy. I'm going to create, sorry, I just want to clean off my tool. It's getting a little clogged at the end and it can change the shape of my dots. I didn't want to wash off. I don't know what I was going to say. My thought's gone. It's fine. Sorry, it's going to shake the camera for a second, you guys. If I let the paint build up, it can change the size of my dots, right? Because it's going to change the size of the end of the tool. My only trouble is discovering paints I like, but the dotting came easy. Yes, and that's the other thing. Try a bunch of different paints. You never know which ones you're going to find the best. And just because I like certain ones doesn't mean you're going to like them as well, right? Thank you, Cat Zip. That's so kind. It's definitely real creative. Thank you, Gabe. It's definitely really creative. It's very cathartic that way. All right, so we're going to try bringing swoops down in here. So when you're doing swoops, you want lots more paint than you normally would. And if you're painting on a rough surface like I am, you're not going to get it to travel too far. And that's okay, because I'm going to overlap some swoops, so this isn't going to be a concern. All right, let's just do the whole corner and we're going to see how this looks. So we're going to go purple now. I still have quite a bit of purple made up, so we're okay. And I'm going to go up. And just start to bring that down. And then we're going to go back to blue again. Nope, that's teal. That's not blue. So now I'm going to go down here a little. And I don't know why, just because I feel like it. All right, we're gonna do another purple. And now we're going to go to blue. That looks awful. That's a little bit better. And now we go teal. We're gonna go the larger one. Oh, I don't like it. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Sorry, this is going to be traumatic. Everybody, close your eyes, I guess. It's going to be fine, but you're not going to like it. Okay, here we go. Quick off with the Band-Aid. Quick off with the Band-Aid. All right, so we're going to try again. Just didn't like that. Was not happy with that. How much paint and medium do you put to mix? I honestly don't pay attention to that as far as measuring. I kind of start with a 50-50 and then I keep going depending on that particular paint, whether it seems to need more, or if I added too much, then I will add more paint back into the mix. So when I am mixing it, I do try to not fill up super full so that I don't so that I have room to kind of play with it a little bit. Do I draw the design on first? Most of the time, no, very, very, very rarely, Sheila. I have 5 different sets of paints and my favorite colors for different projects. Yes, totally, depending on what you're painting on, right? Different paints you prefer for each one. No, the DIY mandala stones cannot be cleaned with acetone. They need to be cleaned with just warm soapy water. I'm using acrylic paint, Michelle. Yeah, Darcy, I am using Flash Metallics acrylic paints. All right, so let's pull this up here, and then I'm using Apple Barrel pouring medium. I feel like it needs to be a bit of a rectangle, right? Like I'm feeling like it should be, where's my ruler? I feel like it should be like this, and then what would that be? Have this one come down to like here. So that would be that far. What? 1 and 5, 6, 7. 1 and nope, can't read it. Gotta go with centimeters. Don't know what I'm looking at in my head. 3.5. Look at that. So much easier. 3.5. So set this up this way. Right? Set this one up this way. Ding, ding. And then this one can go like so. Because it's not a square, I just feel like it's very disproportionate, right? So this is what I'm going to build it in. I'm going to build it a little bit longer on this side than I am on this side. No, it's the opposite way. Shit. Well, shit. So let's go one more centimeter over. Let's do it that way. 1 more centimeter. Ding, ding, ding. And then, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. Let's just do that. Because why not? All right, let's try this again. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. That's so kind of you. Yes, I agree, Patty. It was not It was not going in the right direction for the colors, was it? Yeah, no acetone. No, you're definitely not the only one that does that, for sure. There's a trick to the spacing. When you have a center dot in the middle, I do my spacing the same all the time. So first I dot north, south, east, and west, and then I go through and I start dividing those spaces in half. Now sometimes I might go with that size and go north, south, east, and west, and then maybe try and get 2 dots in between. But what I'm doing is I'm envisioning this line, right? And putting a dot on either side of it. Right? Does that make sense? So that's how I deal with my spacing. I always start with north, south, east, and west, and then how can I divide each section in the same way so I can get my symmetry. I also have guidelines on there to help with that as well. Thank you, Judith. So I use a couple different sealers. I use Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish on my keychains. And on this, I will likely use some Mod Podge matte. Some matte Mod Podge. Love the matte Mod Podge. I love having the matte finish. It gives me tremendous amounts of joy to have a matte finish. And I see a little imperfection here that I'm going to try and do this. Yes, it is. Practice, 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 right? And getting super comfortable with experimentation and failed experiments, right? It's going to happen. If you can have fun with it and go into it and say, it doesn't matter if this turns out or not, I'm good. That's the ideal way to go. I think it does too. I think the matte really does. And what I found that really bothered me about the high gloss varnishes is especially because, you know, with our dots, they tend to be fairly bumpy. So the greater the surface area that's available to reflect light back, the shinier that surface is going to be. And I find that when sometimes when it's too high of a gloss, or if the dots are too bumpy with a super high gloss, it can almost interfere in my eyes. It makes it feel muddy in a lot of ways. All right, so let's try this again. Let's start with the pink. Do you want to start with the pink? No, we're going to start with the teal and work our way into that's kind of pretty. All right, let's see if we can do another one. I think that's better already for that shape. All right, so now we're going to go through the color progression. We're going to go to blue next. Then we're going to go to purple, then we're going to go back to blue, and then back to teal. And I'm going to slightly overlap my swoops, have them all come down here to the bottom. Yeah. Feeling better about it already. Did I say black to blue? Yeah, I tend to not always know what I'm talking about or not always realize what I'm saying. My mind gets going faster than my mouth can keep up. had a little blip. So there we go. All right, now we are going to go back to the blue. Hi, Jessica. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Yep. I'm very lucky that way to have such a steady hand. It's not steady every day, but for the most part, I'm fairly lucky. All right, so now this is what we're gonna do. Oh, this is gonna be pretty. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay. We ready? Now we're going to add the pink. And this is what we're going to do. We are going to add a large pink dot right here. And we are going to pink walking dots. There we go. What do we think? So that's in every corner. What do we think? It does look like a flower petal, doesn't it? Have to do pink because I've got pink in the center, so I want to tie all the colors there. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Oh, you just finished a bottle. That's amazing. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Very much kind of like peacocks, right? Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so that's what we'll do in each corner then. I think that's a good template. I think we got that. And that should leave some of that negative space for us. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me, so sorry. All right, so let's try this one. Yeah, I like that. Thank you very much for the bless you. Hi, Janice. How you doing? Thanks, guys. So I might as well go around and do all the corners. Build them all at the same time, same colors. When I'm just testing out an idea, I'll just do it in one section. That way I don't have to redo it in a whole bunch of sections. But don't be afraid to do that, eh? Don't be afraid to experiment and have to try again. It's totally fine. There are lots of times where lots of projects where I've had tons of do-overs. Tons and tons and tons. There's no limit. Oh, thank you, Nixie. The technique, this is, I'm painting a dot mandala, and I'm using acrylic paints. I have some step-by-step downloadable patterns available on my website, and I also have a YouTube channel that's got some tutorials there. So if you want a walkthrough of a very specific design, then the pattern is for you. If you want to just kind of see some lessons and listen to me talk a little bit about technique, then that would be the YouTube channel for you. All of those are linked in my bio. I'm Callie, newbie to mandala art and self-teaching. Oh, thank you so much, Callie. I hope you're enjoying it. Oh, thank you, Serendipity. Or Gina, sorry. Hi, thank you. Do I always work on a black background? Almost always. Yeah, it's very rare to find me painting on something other than a black background. Thank you, Aves. AV speaker, thank you. All right, so now we go to blue. So there's different kinds of dot art as well. There's dot art and then there's dot mandalas. Dot mandalas are a type of dot art, but dot art is much more wide definition. Whereas the mandalas are the specific symmetrical designs. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you go into dot art, you could be looking, you'll be looking at painting, you'll be wanting to paint things other than just mandalas. That's my distinction anyway. All right. I should be able to open the window soon. That'd be nice. My window's open and my bangs have been my blinds have been banging. My bangs have been blinding. My blinds have been banging with the wind. But I still have to keep the curtains closed because we get the afternoon sun, so I at least need to block out the direct sunlight. It's been nice enough today that the air still coming in is cool as long as you don't have the sun beating down on you. But this is my favorite time of night because that means I'm going to be able to open the blinds soon and we might even get a bit of a sunset. Jamie, I had a proud mom moment, showed my son my first mandala, and that's so amazing. Well done. Did I miss a question? Thank you, Patty, for answering the question. Sorry I missed it, Tiffany. Where do I get my paint containers? I order them off of Amazon. You can order them in fairly significant numbers. So I always get a ton of them. I've got hundreds of these things sitting around. I find that when I use them for regular acrylic paints, I can reuse them very easily. But if I use them for multi-surface, then that makes it fairly difficult for them to reuse, especially because if you don't rinse out the paint containers right away, the multi-surface paint will eventually actually cure to the inside of the surface. So you definitely want to make sure you clean that out. YouTube channel's linked in my bio. Everything that you could ever need for links for me is all through the link in my profile. That is the easiest way to find anything. I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's always up to date as far as links to direct products on my website. I'm thinking my link in my bio says that my last pattern, my most recent pattern, has been uploaded, and I don't think I've updated it since the Quest pattern. Maybe Elegance. But I definitely haven't switched it over since I released the Phoenix pattern, that's for sure. So there's all kinds of stuff available on my website that's hand painted. There's keychains, there's stones, there's candle holders, there's incense holders. I've got one large canvas that's up there. I do have a few stickers that I've designed. I am going to be taking more of the images of my paintings and making them into stickers as well. What else is on there? A couple planters, like pots to pot your plants in. A whole bunch of mugs. Some keychains, some necklace pendants. All kinds of fun stuff. I do, Tiffany. I sell my art. This is my full-time job, actually. I'm very, very lucky that I get to do what I love. So I do sell my art. There is a link to my Redbubble store in my bio, and there is also a link to my website for my business as well. In my my link in my bio, I also have created a virtual tip jar. I will never make these lives something that is paid. I love doing them. But I also wanted to have a way for people who wanted to leave a little tip, even just $1 or something. There is a virtual tip jar in there as well. And thank you to everybody who has sent me tips. I can't even begin to tell you the weird little noises of giddiness that I make when I see that one's come through. You really make my day, so thank you, and it really keeps me believing that I can do this, and you guys are helping make that a reality for me. Every time anybody orders anything from my shop or sends me a tip, I really can't adequately express how much I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Jan. It's difficult for me, yet sure helps with health issues. I see. Oh, you're most welcome, Callie. It definitely makes a difference. You know, it's very meditative. That's really good for your soul. I like watching you work in the community, right? Isn't it incredible? I'm so unbelievably proud of the group of people that comes here and hangs here all the time. It's so wonderful. How would I seal a tea light candle stone? Really good question, Jules. I use Mod Podge for that as well. I use my matte Mod Podge. Now I mix my Mod Podge 50-50 with water because I've found that it spreads a lot easier and it doesn't go all gummy. And it dries. I don't deal with the tackiness that can sometimes come and the stickiness that can sometimes come with Mod Podge. So that's what I use for my candle holders and haven't had any issues at all with the Mod Podge being near the heat. Everything has done just fine. So I use that for my incense holders as well. Okay, so these are a little bit tighter than the original, but that's okay. It'll still look nice. I'm not worried. There we go. Now let's add in the pink. So I like to go live. I usually go live 3 to 4 times a week across all my platforms. I always post my live schedule here on TikTok, and it's going to be in my pinned posts, or you can find it in my highlights on my Instagram account. But I go live at least 3 times a week, if not more, when I can. So I'd love to hang out with you as often as we get the chance to. Oh yeah, these are a lot more condensed than the first one, but I don't think it really matters. We'll have a look. We'll pull back and we'll see if the difference makes a difference. Okay, Jamie, the difference makes a difference. So I just have to readjust my cloth. I use a damp cloth to wipe my tools off, but it fills up with paint after a while. Oh, gracias, Aurora. I'm not going to pronounce your name correctly, but thank you. It looks neat, eh, Mortel? Thank you, Cussy Shore Lover. Fuck, I love your username. It's great. You're most welcome, Jules. Any questions at all? If you guys have questions, I don't pretend to know all the answers, but the answers that I do have, I'm happy to help out where I can. All right, so let's pull back and let's see what we think of this as the front of the box. I'm gonna set it on its side like we're looking at it on a countertop. What do we think? Oh, it's pretty. So it's gonna open up and it's gonna have my Dot Mandala inspiration deck inside of it. And eventually we'll keep building those up too. Thank you, Nixie. Thank you, Martel. Oh, I'm so glad that it's helpful and that it's helping you learn some stuff. That's amazing. I learn so much from you guys all the time. You guys challenge me and we learn a lot of stuff together. Yes, Tiffany. Gotta know where, gotta be able to see the Raxperts. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Callie and Jules and Jan. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think that's going to look really cool. So, how are we doing for time? All right, perfect timing to switch over, and we will resin some keychains now. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, thanks, Doris. How you doing? So now the key is going to be to decide what to do on the top and the other 3 sides. I'm thinking I'll do, I was thinking actually of doing the sides and the back just rows and rows of these colors to make it solid and really metallic and kind of magical. And then up top here, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do up top. I'll come up with some ideas, but I think around the sides, I'm going to do just rows and rows of dots and see what we can come up with. Maybe a couple different patterns to kind of space it out a little bit too, but that will be to come. So on my other lives, I will keep working on this for sure. So I'm going to put it up on my shelf for now, and I'm going to grab my UV resin, my UV resin tool, my gloves. Oh, actually, and I'm going to open up the window so that we have more air because the resin is a little fumy. A little bit. All right, so let's open this window, open these blinds. And you guys keep hitting me with those questions if there's anything I can answer for you. I will do my absolute best to get you answers. Okay, so the UV resin that I'm using is J. Diction brand. It's the first time I've ever used UV resin, so I cannot give you any feedback on other brands. However, I'm incredibly happy with this one. And I'm all for trying different brands, but sometimes I don't really need to. You know, sometimes if we've got something and it works for us, then we don't necessarily have to keep trying a whole bunch, right? Oh, that's a good idea, Patty. Oh, that would be really pretty. I could do some really cool swoop stuff maybe on the sides too. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Oh, and that's good to hear. That's awesome, Tiffany. All right, so let's start resining all these bad boys. So I am going to be putting them under the UV light for 2 minutes each. So we'll just chat while it's curing. And in the meantime, we'll have a little good resin ASMR. It's always like it's almost like it's magnifying, eh? So I'm going to dome it. So doming, if you're unfamiliar with resin, doming is where you bring the resin right to the edge, but it doesn't go over. So it kind of domes up from the edge. So that's what I'm going to do here, is I'm just going to gradually coax this resin out to the edge, and in the hopes that it will not run down the sides. You could resin the sides. I think the difficult part with the light that I have is that it is really probably only good for, what am I thinking? For stuff that you just need to do like the top or the back, right? Having to do the sides as well would need lights coming in from the sides and propping it up so it's nice and in all of the lights. Now my friend Jan, Jmart, has let me know that there are UV lights that you can get that have lights on the top and on the side. So that would definitely be an option if you want to resin the sides as well. I really like the feel. I did that. I did the first time where I just did the top and the front and the back, and then I left the sides the varnished wood, and I just really enjoyed the texture. I felt like it was something that I would really enjoy kind of fiddling around with in my hands and feeling that different texture. So for as of right now, I'm going to leave it and only do the tops and the bottoms. I really like I used to say the raw edge, but it's not a raw edge because I do varnish it. But I do prefer that. So we've got this, and now we do a little torch and long hold on the button, turns the light on for 2 minutes. Would you ever think of putting a quote on top of the box? Honestly, my handwriting is absolute trash. There is no way that I would ever be able to do that without using some kind of a decal. And that's honestly stuff that just, I don't really want to get into. I do kind of fan the fumes a little bit. It's not super strong. If you're super sensitive to smells, you'll probably have some issue with it. I don't mind it too much, but I do still try to kind of blow it off to the side to make sure I'm not breathing it in too much. Yeah, my handwriting is absolute trash. So that unfortunately will not be something that I would be doing. Oh, that's good. There you go. That's one of the best references you could ever get. I'm sorry that that's the situation you're in. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm really thrilled to death that there are products that you can use and enjoy and not miss out on doing the things you want to do. That's amazing. Right? It's such good therapy for all of us, isn't it? Right? Just to have that thing. I found that these dot mandalas have given me so much more confidence in myself and my abilities, right? I'm glad you're here too, Immortelle. For writing, what do you mean, Carly's? I don't know what you mean. I only see for writing. I don't know what that means. All right, so now this one is going to get set aside, and about 10 minutes from now, it will be fully cured and ready to be handled a little bit more. And until then, we bring in the next one. I always wanted to resin and thought there was only epoxy. Oh, how wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad for you. That's wonderful to hear. So glad you're getting to do something that you love. All right, here we go. Next one. All right, so while I'm doing this, you guys, I'm not going to be able to see my screen to see any of the comments, so bear with me. I will come back in a minute, and I will try to kind of peek out of the corner of my eye. Yes, definitely helps anxiety, doesn't it? It's quite incredible. I think the thing is that Anything that you allow yourself to do just for the pure joy of it is good for your soul. Not because you need to make it into something more. You can, and if that is part of your passion, then do that. That's part of my passion. But anytime you let yourself do something just because you enjoy it, and it's one of the things that I go back to in my mind an awful lot when I'm struggling mentally with the stress of trying to build my own business and pay my bills and do all of the things that I'm supposed to do, I sometimes lose sight of the fact that the whole reason I started doing this was because I enjoyed it and it helped me feel really good. And sometimes just reconnecting back to that original, why am I doing this, right, can really bring a lot of the joy back into the activity too. And any of that stuff is good for your soul. So even if you're watching this and you're thinking, I would love to do something that would feel really good to my soul and to my heart, if this isn't the thing, don't force it, right? This isn't some magical fix. The reason that it works for people and is so therapeutic and meditative for people is because they're enjoying it and they're recognizing that it helps them feel good, right? Don't try to force it. Just let yourself enjoy it. Just let yourself have some fun, for crying out loud. Just have some damn fun. Now, I am going to kind of prop one of these ends up a little bit because it's tilted. I need to get one of those honeycomb mats that Jenna was talking about to help it rest. All right. Yes, not doing it because it's something that you have to. And you're right, you can always take the thing that you love and make it into the thing that you do all day, every day, but you don't have to, right? Do it because you enjoy it. And if building a business helps make it that much more fun, then do that too, right? Yeah, it's so good. So good. All right, I'm going to take a drink while this is curing. So for the next half an hour, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, folks. So I don't know how many of these we're going to get through in the next little bit, but it's coming. If you weren't here at the very beginning, I do want to let you know that I'm releasing a new pattern tonight. It's going to be on my website no later than midnight Eastern tonight, and that is the wraparound mug design. So keep your eyes open for that. If you want something to paint this weekend, that will be the new downloadable step-by-step. I have depression and crafts helps me stop thinking. Yes. Anytime you can slow those negative thoughts, right? And distraction and immersing yourself in something that just feels really good is one of the best ways to do it. I'm not an advocate for ignoring your feelings and pushing them away and boxing them up and not dealing with them. But I am a huge advocate of saying, once you've recognized and felt that feeling, you're entitled to feel it again whenever you want. However, I also want to practice and become really good at being able to say, I don't need to feel this right now. I don't need to feel it all day, every day, right? And when we can find those things that help us slow our minds and say, you mean for the next 2 hours while I'm painting, the only thing I have to think about is dots? Right? Oh, I probably could fit 2, Jan. All right, smarty pants. Let's do 2. Some of these keychains lie nice and flat and some of them don't. Thanks, Jan. Wouldn't have even gone there. Me and my brain, huh? Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I always love coming and doing this and TikTok is my favorite place to do it. So thank you guys for coming to hang out with me. I am about 3.5 years into making these, and about 2.5 years into it being my full-time job. I've made an absolute shit ton of mistakes. I've learned more than I ever thought that I ever would need to, and certainly more than I would have wanted to at the beginning. But the thing that kind of holds it together is this art form. It is my goal to be able to paint this stuff, teach you guys how to paint this stuff, share the stuff that I've learned, and be able to do this and support myself. And you guys help me do that. So again, thank you. Every time you guys are so generous and support me by buying my things or throwing some money in my tip jar, by downloading my patterns, by following me or subscribing to my YouTube channel, all of those things matter. So whether you have money to spend in my shop or money to drop in my tip jar, please know that there are so many ways that I feel your love and support, and I am so eternally grateful for you guys. And I am just so over the moon that you guys love to hang out while I paint so much. Bubbles gone. So the tool that I'm using is just a little plastic spreading tool that actually came with the UV resin kit. So when I got the kit, it came with this bottle, it came with this light and the cord. It's powered by USB, and it came with a couple of these plastic tools and a couple of little tiny mini measuring cup pouring thingies. So the gloves are the latest fashion accessory, right? Aren't they fantastic? I don't want to know what I would ever do without you guys. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Oh, and Jan answers your question. Okay, wonderful. I do use pipettes for mixing in my pouring medium most of the time. I know tonight you saw me just pour it right out of the bottle and into the paint cup. That was me throwing caution to the wind and being a little bit more careless than I like to. I usually like to use a pipette to add the resin, the pouring medium very slowly to the paints. And you can get to a point too where one drop of pouring medium makes it way too runny. So you want to kind of be careful that you know what consistency of paint you're looking for so you don't overdo it, and always err on the side of caution and take your time. That's with your dots as well. If your swoops, for example, swoops are the biggest one. If your swoops are not turning out the way that you pictured in your head or the way that you would like them to, when in doubt, slow down. And I mean slow down. As slow as you think you're going, go slower. Reducing your speed is going to give you a much higher chance of success of your swoops turning out the way that you want them to. It goes for dots as well. If you're wanting to practice your repetitive lines of dots, for example, and practice sizing and spacing, the slower you go, the better it's going to be. Okay? Take your time. This is not a process that's meant to be rushed. Any of it. Sometimes you'll get in a flow and you'll just get going at a rockin' speed, and that's fine, but try not to force it. Yes, slug slow, exactly. As slow as you think you're going, and if you think I can't possibly go slower, I guarantee you can. And definitely check out, I've got some YouTube videos on swoops where I go through this quite a bit, so they're in the tutorials playlist. Hi, Christine. Yeah, that's the perfect description, eh? Oh, hi, Holly. I'm so glad you like it. To make the dots, Valerie, I use a couple different sets of tools. I use these tools here that have different size metal balls on the end. They are clay sculpture tools. Originally, that's what I got them for when I used to do work with polymer clay, but you can also find them as dotting tools, and they have different size metal balls on each end. I also have another set of these tools that have the metal balls on one end, but have these silicone brushes on the other. These are fantastic. You can get those at dotartdepot.com if you want to take a screenshot of that. If you spend $25 or more from Lydia's shop, you can get 10% off with that code. So you can get those tools that have the silicone edges and everything. Lydia May is actually who I learned from. I devoured her content when I was learning how to do this, and she has a great shop full of supplies. Full. And then I also use a set of tools from a company called DIY Mandala Stones. They are a Canadian company, and they all have different size round flat ends. And they go from a size 1 to a size 28 and everything in between. I love these tools. These things are friggin' great. I love the dots that they create. I love how they feel in my hands because they're comfortable to use. I friggin' love them. The local technical, measuring cup pouring thingies. That is the technical term, right? Never hurts to ask, Kath, for clay. Never hurts to ask. Always ask, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Jules, I use these silicone brushes to help remove paint when I've made a mistake, especially if the paint is wet. It's great for doing that. The piece that I have dotted, these are keychains that I'm working on, that I'm resining to get them good and protected. So let's keep doing 2 at a time because this is freaking fantastic. Type in dotting tools on Amazon or Etsy. Yes, tons and tons of them. I know, right, Patty? Thanks, Jan. How you doing, Christine? You're most welcome, Jules. I'm going to have to order another bottle of this resin soon. So this technique that I'm doing, I'm just pushing the resin to the edge, not so that it'll go over. This is called doming. I'm very new to resin, so if I do ever make a mistake about resin terminology, please let me know. I've done some work with Art Resin brand on some larger pieces. I've done some smaller pieces with their resin as well, but the curing time and the setup needed for curing is not quite what you want for small things. So I'm going to continue to use Art Resin for my larger pieces, like my tables and my terracotta plates and some canvases and all of that sort of stuff, or wood panels, kind of bigger stuff like that. And use the UV resin for these small ones, because I'm telling you, if I had to paint 10 or 15 of these and then set them under a plastic tent for 24 hours without ever bumping the table or accidentally nudging anything and having anything fall and all of that sort of stuff, and then do it again for the second side, I don't think I would do these keychains. So this is what is making these even something that is feasible from a business sense. So if I had to do it the other way, I'd have to charge an astronomical amount of money for them, and I don't like doing that. All right. I hate doming. I always put it in, break the surface tension. Isn't that infuriating when that happens too? And you're like, no, 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 too far. And it goes just over. Well, and that's the thing, right? To let it sit for that long, eh? Guess what Hamish got his mom for homecoming? A broken arm? No. Oh, no, Christine. You bought 2 giant bottles? I'm going to order another Battle Cute. Of course I will. Of course I'll order another bottle. Did I make you think that I wasn't going to do that? Oh, Hamish, what's he doing? I hope he's okay. Tell him it's a crappy gift to give his mom. Jeez, you guys have been through the ringer, eh? Yes, and have to wipe it off and do it again. I don't even remember saying I'm sorry, Christine. Oh, I think I'm sorry just because of what happened to Hamish. I hope he's all right. So sorry to hear that. So all of these keychains I'm hoping to have listed on my site as quick as I can. I was originally thinking it was going to be next weekend, but I'm thinking that I can probably get some stuff up in the shop this weekend. But I will post about it and give you the heads up once I know when that restock is going to be. So keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to be putting 5 of these keychains in the shop, and I've got 5 of another bluey purple set, so I'll show you both sides of all of them here. He's okay now, I guess. They had to set it. Oh, well, thank God for no surgery, but oh, that poor puppy. So there's this side, and then on the other side of this keychain is that design. And then we have this keychain, which is this side, and that's the design on the other side. So there's going to be at least 5 of each of these going into the shop. And then I'm hoping to get another 10 ready to go in the shop soon. Oh, your heart must have just dropped when you heard the news. Thank you, Immortelle. So did you get the call while you were at work or something today, Christine? Like, did your heart must have dropped into your stomach? What happened? Poor thing. All right. So we're doing pretty good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do. Nope. 6 more to do. 1, 2. Six more to do. Got a call on my way to the vet that they couldn't reach Mom. Ugh. Oh, Christine, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's rotten. All right. So let's move these ones out of the way. And then after letting these sit for about 10 minutes, then they are pretty good. All right. This is again just coaxing it to the side, right? And again, super slow. The slower the better. Sorry, I'm concentrating. If you're new to my lives, if it takes a few minutes for me to answer your question, please know that while I'm kind of in the middle of stuff like this, I'm not looking at my screen to see comments, but I will come back and pause for a few minutes and try and catch up. So if I don't get to your comment or your question very quickly, please know that just be patient with me and I will come back and be able to answer them. So I pause and try to go back and see what I missed. So just bear with me. So I'll come back to the comments once we get the UV light on these two. And then we will have 4 more to do. So we're going to stay and finish, even if we run a little bit late, we'll stay and finish the 4. Because I feel really good about having that done before I go to bed tonight. Again, remember that I have a new pattern that is going to be released on my website tonight. It'll be there before midnight Eastern. I was hoping to get it done before this live, but I ran out of time pretty quickly. But I will get it listed up there, and it is for a wraparound mug design. So if you have wanted to paint one of the wraparound designs that I've done on mugs, I came up with a new design, and I think it's probably one of the prettiest things that I've ever made yet. I'll show you here in a second while we put the light on this one. Okay, I think that looks good. All right. Here we go. To pop any bubbles, Valerie, I do that for bubbles. So when there is a lot of bubbles in the resin, running the torch over it will pop those. You love it, Holly? I'm using J Diction. I'm really enjoying J Diction. Dave, she forgot her phone at home, of course. Of course. Thought she was sleeping, got in very late. Oh, there was a wave in his forearm. Ugh. Oh, God. Must have made you sick to your stomach. I feel so bad. Right? The picture of your dog's eye in his arm. Yeah, no kidding, right? I would have been crumbled for sure. Awesome. And thank you for answering those questions, you guys. All right. 4 more. And then these babies will be done. Maybe I'll get them listed on my shop a little sooner. We'll see. It'll be a couple days yet. I still have to do photography and all kinds of stuff for them. But keep your eyes peeled, because they'll be coming. Oops. I just still sit and fan. Oh, I was going to show the pattern. So the pattern for the mugs is this one here. So this is the pattern that I'm going to be releasing tonight. So it's a step-by-step downloadable pattern. And the other one that is my most recent one is this design. So it's a terracotta plate. I'm going to actually resin it. But if you want to learn how to paint this pattern, a step-by-step downloadable pattern's available in my website for that as well. There is going to be, including this one, this is going to be the 6th pattern that I have on my website. And I've got so many ideas. I've got so many ideas for more. There's going to be a lot more coming fairly soon, I'm guessing. But I freaking love that mug. I think it's hands down one of the most beautiful things I've ever made. And I cannot wait to see what you guys do with color and on different color mugs. Can't wait. So if you do get the pattern and you decide to post an image of what you painted, I would love to be tagged in it so I can see what you've made. All right. We're getting closer to being done. Thanks again, you guys, for coming to hang out with me tonight. I always love coming and doing these lives, and the fact that you guys keep showing up and hanging out with me just lets me know that I'm going in the right direction. I do have a virtual tip jar in my bio, in my links there, so if you feel called to throw $1 or $2 my way as a tip for, then that would be awesome. And if not, that's totally okay too. You just showing up and being here and all the love and support helps to build this wonderful community that we've got going to support each other, right? And I'm grateful for that as well. All of my hand-painted items are available on my website. I do have a Redbubble store as well where you can get some of my digital artwork on things like mugs and notebooks and water bottles and different stuff like that, and shower curtains and coasters and all kinds of different stuff. So if you want to check that out, again, all of the links for all of that sort of stuff are in my bio. You take a look at the links in my bio, you'll see everything that there is there that I've got going on. And as far as the hand-painted items on my website, I have mugs, incense holders, candle holders, stones, flower pots, keychains, necklace pendants, a little bit of everything. So, yeah, if you want to check it out, take a look at the link that's in my profile. My live schedule, I go live at least 3, if not 4 times a week. So if you want to come and hang out again sometime when I'm painting, check the pinned post. I've got 3 pinned posts, but check out one of the pinned posts, the most recent pinned post, and it has my live schedule for the rest of the week, so it tells you what time I'm going live and on what platform, because I go live on all of the different platforms as often as I can. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to hang out again soon. And if you have any questions at all, like I said, I don't promise to have all of the answers, but I'll always do my best to help you if you've got a question. Please take a look through my content and some of my videos, because a lot of common questions get answered on those. So let me know what holes I can fill in for you that you're not able to find there. Yeah. All right, one more. One more tiny little bit. Oops. I might have just fucked that one up. We'll see. All right, pop the last couple bubbles. Oh, sugar. I've got a cat hair in this one. There we go. Sorry, I'm just gonna try and get this a little closer to the edge here. All right, there we go. We got 2 more after this one. I would imagine, Christine, your knees would be a little weak by now. I'm sending you so much love, hon. I know, that was lucky, wasn't it? If I hadn't caught it, I would have been able to sand it out, but it would have been putting in some elbow grease to sand that down. It would have had to sink way far down in order for it to really ruin the piece, thankfully. But yeah. You can always sand and put another coat on it if you absolutely have to. But yeah, if you can manage to catch it ahead of time, then that's definitely a bonus in your own corner. For sure. Sending y'all so much love. How's Dale and Marissa doing, Patty? And how are you doing? You doing all right? All right, 2 more after this. And then we are done. A little piece of Audrey, exactly. I should start putting some in the very back somewhere. Be like a little Easter egg that people find, right? All right. I'm really happy with these. So these are the other ones that are all cured now. This one has an imperfection in it, so I'll have to add some resin in there and fix that one, but that's okay. Little tiny bits of things. Nothing major. No bubbles on there. And then this is the other side. So we were making progress. A couple little touch-ups, like I said, but nothing too major, which is awesome. Last 2. And then these keychains will be done. All right. Dale goes to the surgery tomorrow. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? And you guys are thumbs up. Wonderful. Glad to hear it. Aw, thanks, Holly. Oh, I'll keep my fingers crossed for good news for you tomorrow, Patty. Hopefully get him a walking cast. Is he going stir crazy? All right. Just focusing. Sorry, I'm focus. All right. Looks like we're okay now. Torch it. He's going nuts. Oh my God. Imagine. Oh yeah, he can't be in the pool. That'd be so difficult. Especially with it being so hot lately too, eh? Oh, if he gets a walking cast, will he be able to go in the pool? Aw, thank you, Holly. What's happening out there? Bring you over here a bit. Get that edge enough. Sometimes when you see things from a different angle, you see spots that you missed. Spin, spin. All right. All right, almost done. I'll give it another couple little spins here to make sure I didn't miss any spots. Give it a quick torch to get any bubbles. And then we should be good. All right, I think we got it. So, lid on the resin. These are the last two for tonight. And talk about perfect timing. Torch the bubbles. Did we get them all? No cat hair. Okay. Resin light. Whoops. Over top. And there we go. Hi, Nicole. I am painting keychains. So here, let me show you what these are going to look like. So the ones that are under the UV light have already been treated with resin, and the UV light cures it. I'm very new to UV resin, so I'm still learning, but I've been coating these keychains. I painted this keychain, this side and this side, and then covered it with resin. Isn't that pretty? So I've made 6 of those, and I've also made 6 of these ones. And these are going to be listed on the shop hopefully later this weekend. So I've been working on those. I've also been making some patterns. I painted this mug, and now there's going to be a downloadable step-by-step pattern on my website to recreate that mug. It will be my 6th pattern, and this was my other most recent one. Phoenix, it's called. I friggin' love this thing. So that's kind of what's new. So I paint a bunch of stuff. I sell all of my stuff on my website, and then I like to teach people how to paint them as well. Hi, Abeline. How you doing, love? Aw, thank you, Nicole. They're pretty, eh? I'm really proud of them. I'm really, really proud of the stuff that I've been creating lately. So thank you guys for encouraging me to try some different things and to kind of play around a lot and to experiment. It really is the basis of all of this, right? If you think you might, if the question pops in your head while you're learning dot mandalas, if it goes, I wonder if I can do this. If you ever ask me, my answer is always going to be, try it and see if you like it. If you don't like it, don't do it again. But if you like it, might want to practice it. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Thanks, guys. So these ones are not on my website right now. I will be loading these ones up. The 3 keychains that I do have on my website right now are this one, and that's the other side of that one. I have this one, that's the rainbow, and then the gold and black on the other side. And then I have this one that is the gold, purple, and silver metallic, and that is on the other side. And then I'm going to be listing 5 of each of these designs in another week or so. I also on my website have candle holders, incense holders, a crap ton of mugs that I've hand painted. The link for all of that stuff is in my bio if you want to take a peek at what I've got there. And then I'll be adding, like I said, a lot more of these keychains. And I actually have, along with the keychains, I'm going to be listing this incense holder that's finished. So your incense stick would go right in here, and it's all varnished, so it's going to clean up nicely. So this one is going to go on my shop. Here's the edge for that one. when I put the keychains on. And I also have this keychain, this candle holder that is going to be available on my shop when I finally list these keychains as well. So it's going to be quite a shop update. There's going to be quite a few things in there, and I'm actually hoping to get a few more keychains done, maybe even a few more mugs done. So kind of stay tuned for that. I will let you know when that stuff is going to be loaded onto my website, but I'm hoping sometime this weekend. I was originally thinking sometime next weekend, but I think I'd like to do it sooner. Thank you, Zumafu. Thank you, love. Oh, and thank you for the roses, Nicole. That's so sweet. All right, you guys. So these are done. We made some super good progress. We resined a bunch of keychains. We did some more work on this box. This, by the way, is the same design as my Phoenix pattern, only in different colors. So these first two sections, really, are these first two sections. Exactly the same design, only different colors. Crazy, right? So the Phoenix pattern's available on my website. The plate, which is finished on the side as well, is going to get coated with some resin and varnish, and eventually will be part of my very first auction that I want to do in July. I had this box, Christine, and it was it's a recipe card box. So I originally got it thinking that it would be a good box to put my inspiration deck cards in there. So I still have to do the sides and the top and the back. So we've got lots to go there, but it's coming along pretty so far. I think it's going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's going to look magical, and that's exactly what I wanted. Oh, that's so sweet, Zumafu. And thank you, Christine. Hi, Chameleonaire. How you doing? They're fun colors, eh? They're so much fun. I've been having so much fun. These are the Flash Metallic paints. I got them off of Amazon. And this is what the package looks like. Flash Acrylic Metallics. They say multi-surface paints. I have tried them on mugs, and they do not cure. I have not had that luck. Now, I am going to be testing them with just a little bit of the Liquitex glass medium to see if maybe that enhances their multi-surfaceness and makes them adhere. So I still have some more tests to do there, but yeah. Yes, it was off-center. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Christine. Yes. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm so glad you like my stuff. This is all I could ever hope for, right? Is that I get to paint stuff that I love and that you love it as well. And I get to keep painting the stuff that I love and teach you guys that want to paint these things as well. Teach you guys what I know. So I appreciate you coming and spending time with me. I appreciate all the love and support. The fact that you guys choose to take your own spare time and spend it here with me means the absolute world, and I am incredibly grateful for you. I'm going to look forward to hanging out with you again soon. Check my live schedule. It's one of the pinned posts here on TikTok. And if you want to check out all the different links that are in my bio, there's a whole bunch of different resources there of different places that I have stuff, and as well as YouTube channel, all that other fun stuff. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me, and I will see you again soon. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you. Bye, Holly. Bye, Patty. Bye, Zumafu. Bye, Christine.